Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Danny Glover, Christopher Lloyd, Tony Danza, Matthew McConaughey, and Adrian Brody. An unbelievable list was some of what Hollywood has or had to offer. Seeing all these names would probably make you think, well, this movie obviously won some awards. Heck, you could argue that this movie jump-started some of these actors' careers. In fact, you'd be surprised they didn't win anything for Walt Disney's 1994 Angels in the Outfield. The movie follows Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character, Roger, a hopeful 13-year-old kid that one day his dad will take him away from the foster home where he lives with JP and the caretaker, Maggie, who's the bird lady from Home Alone. Of course, his hopes are almost completely shattered when his deadbeat dad takes off on his motorcycle, and not before telling him,
"When are we gonna be a family again?"
I'd say when the Angels win the pennant.
and leaves Roger in the dust. You may think that, hey, maybe the dad is actually giving Roger some sort of hope. But nope. Not only are the California Angels dead last in the league, but they're the most incompetent group of guys to ever touch a baseball. I mean, look at their pitcher.
See, it's very common.
So one night, Roger decides to pray to God and asks him to help the team out so he can reunite with his dad. And of course, God has nothing better to do but help a struggling baseball team win the Western Division title, and sends Christopher Lloyd, who plays Al the Angel. In the first game, Roger sees the Angels help Matthew McConaughey make a miraculous catch. Al appears and basically explains that Angels come and go when needed, and Roger is the only one that can see or hear them. And that's pretty much it. Roger eventually meets the manager of the team, Knox, played by Danny Glover, who seems a little on edge.
One more loss and I'll do this! Each and every one of you!
Well, that'll wrap things up here in the field.
On the air here. Oh, yeah?
We're speaking with Angels manager George Knox. George?
Roger tells Knox that Angels helped them win the game. At first he thinks he's some hallucinating kid, but realizes that this team is so bad that it's worth investigating, and realizes there may be more to Roger's story. He tracks down Roger at the foster home and figures since the team is winning with Roger around, why not bring him to every game? So every game, Roger points out which player has one of the Angels on their side and tells Knox to play him. Knox insanely obliges even if that player is having the worst batting average ever. He even plays Mel Clark.
I have personally checked the stats, sports fans, and Mel Clark hasn't started a game in this decade.
Next thing you know, the team goes on the biggest winning streak in history, almost exceeding the best record in the West. Meanwhile, Roger's dad returns to permanently give up custody of Roger and splits. Who would have thought that he wasn't going to take care of Roger, even if the Angels did win? Also, the douchebag commentator Ranch Wilder interviews JP. The press finds out and bashes Knox for believing in Angels. And for some reason, the owner of the team says Knox's career is on the line unless he says he doesn't believe in Angels. And at the press conference, Knox steps down instead of admitting there's no Angels helping the team. But is ultimately saved when Roger's caretaker makes a speech basically saying that we all need something to believe in. And in a Dead Poet Society moment, Mel Clark stands up, rallying the rest of the team to join in. In the final game of the season, the Angels are one game away from the division title. Al explains that Angels can't interfere with championship games, but they had previously no problem ruining other team seasons. And before he leaves, he nonchalantly tells a 13-year-old kid that the star pitcher Mel Clark has 6 months to live because he smokes, which the pitcher does not know about. Way to drop that kind of knowledge on a newly established orphan whose dad just left him. Appreciate it, Al. In the final moments of the game, it all comes down to this.
So it comes down to a full count. 2 outs, the top of the ninth. The Angels lead by 1 run, and for Mel Clark, this is the pressure cooker.
Mel Clark expresses he has no energy left to throw the last pitch, and is about to be replaced, until the most inspirational moment in sports movie history happens. And they all bull that there's an angel on his side. Clark gets the confidence he needs and gets the final out to win the pennant. The movie ends with Roger finding out that he's been adopted, and it's by Knox. And Roger and JP get to have a family. The end. I consider this movie a guilty pleasure because, as cheesy as it is, Angels in the Outfield does send a nice message of believing in something even if people doubt you. And even if it means helping a losing MLB team win a championship, rather than, helping someone else who isn't making millions of dollars a year. Well, what do I know? Sports are rigged anyway, so who cares? And honorable mention to the Angels team assistant, who gets bullied by Roger and JP.
I got a soda. Where are the nachos?
I'm saving them for later.